Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and as you might have guessed, in this one we're on to modification number 2 for the Yeti, which is super exciting. Here we've got our Tuff Torque steel wheels with our trusty Falken Wildpeak tyres. So let's get these fitted to the car. Right guys, that's the wheels and tyres fitted to the car. We think they look absolutely spot on, which is great. Scott's going to now talk about some of the technical jargon, so if you're only here for the fitting of the wheels and seeing how they look on the car, I'll say goodbye to you now and we'll see you in the next video. If you want to see Scott talk about all the facts, figures and all of the, what I would say, the boring gibberish, then continue watching.
For those of you that are still sticking around for the technical jargon, then here it is. These are Tuff Torque steelies, and these are obviously the standard Skoda Yeti alloy wheels. These alloy wheels, the specs of them, 7J by 17 with an ET of 45, PCD of 5 by 112 millimeters, centre bore of 57.10 millimeters. They are coupled up to a 225/50/17 tyre. The wheels and tyres on the car now are still a 7J, but they're 16-inch. We've gone down from 17s to 16s on the rims. They're an ET of 35, so they've got a bit more poke. And me and Alana were talking off camera, and it'll be interesting because we put space on the Freelander because they did need it. Do these need spacers? We're going to decide over time. We're not 100% sure just yet. The PCD is obviously the same because that's 5 studs, 112 millimeters between the wheel bolts, and obviously a centre bore, it stays the same. The tyres that we've put on are 215/65/16s. What that means is we've lost a bit in tyre width, so we've gone slightly smaller in tyre width, but we've gained a lot on sidewall height. The reason for us going for steelies, a lot of people automatically think that it's when you're off-roading, you can hit bends out, that sort of thing. For us, it's not the case, because we've got alloys on the Freelander too. We've never had any trouble with them. We've never cracked one or anything like that. We just like the look of it. Touch wood.
Don't want to tempt that one.
But yeah, we just like the look of steelies, and we'll leave you to decide what do you think of these on the car. Some more specs. I think I've worked this out correctly, but I could be wrong, so someone in the comments will probably correct me on this. Feel free, because I'm not a genius on all this stuff. It's just some research that I've done, and it could be wrong. They're 10mm further out now. We've gained 14.55mm of ride height, which is no bad thing. We've gone from a 113mm sidewall to 140mm sidewall. The width of the tyre has gone from 225 to 215, so that's a drop of 4% in the width of the tyre. And the overall diameter of the tyre, we've gone from 657mm on this wheel and tyre to 686mm, so that's plus 4% overall that we've gained, which is quite a lot, because with the Freelander I think we only gained in the region about 1%, and most people say that's your safe zone. We've gained quite a lot. How that affects the car we'll see over time, because obviously we've not even driven this as of when I'm recording this clip. The other thing to note is that with this being the 170 brake horsepower engine on this car, it's got the bigger front brakes on it, and one of the things that we weren't too sure about would these 16s fit over the front discs and calipers, and I'm happy to say that yes they do, and they do go round and round in circles, so big win on that one. There's going to be some other stuff following this clip, so if you want to hang around for like pictures, videos that I've put, I'm going to chuck it all in the end. I've also recorded like a noise clip, so hopefully I'll have the noise of these tyres to see if there's any significant difference between a road going tyre and an all-terrain tyre. And obviously rubbing wise, we had a little move forwards and backwards, and overall I don't think there's any rub. Well, literally you can see the tiniest amount, but when the suspension compresses maybe there's a bit more, but we'll find out that and we'll chuck it in at the end of this video. Other than that, I'll leave you to the rest of the video. I'm going to say goodbye for this one. We'll record an outing in a second, so once we've done all the other jargon we'll say goodbye properly. So goodbye from me in that case. So we've just been out and about, we've done our weekly shop, haven't we?
Yep.
We've been out and dropped some Christmas cards around some people's houses and such like that.
All the boring stuff.
Exactly, all the boring stuff. But do you know what? A very important test for these tyres, because if they're going to rub, they're going to rub in them sort of scenarios,
Very
aren't they?
much so. And we did a lot of, you know, all of this around the houses, you know.
Yep, lock to lock, that sort of thing.
Oh, sorry, I just started cutting your head off.
I don't think it's, well, if it has rubbed, it's not
been noticeable, that's for sure. I was kind of concerned that, especially parking and things like that, you get that kind of like sound. And thankfully, nothing.
Yeah, and real world noise, I don't think it's any louder in here from the tyres, going from road tyres to all terrain. And also, one of the things that we're kind of thinking, but obviously it could be a mental thing, is I don't think it's half as crashy.
No, we do think it's kind of almost softened, not that it was particularly harsh anyway, but we do think it's kind of softened out, you know, any bumps in the road and all of that, which is always a bonus at the end of the day.
Yeah, so on that note, I think all good.
Yes, happy days. Happy days indeed.
Right, if this is at the end of the video, we're going to hand it back to us signing off.
That's confusing, isn't it? Oh dear.
So, you've seen all the technical jargon, you've seen everything else that's gone before this. We're absolute nuggets, aren't we?
We are. It's rather chilly today, apparently.
One thing I don't think I have said is we are going to be changing the wheel bolts.
Yeah, we are going to be changing the bolts. They're not going to be staying like this, partly for cosmetic purposes, because silver and black, not quite sure of whether that works, but for now, it will do. We wanted to just check that the wheels fitted with those bolts, which they do, thankfully.
I'm going to throw it out there that if anyone knows what wheel caps we can get to fit these, we'll probably already have some, but...
These little bits in the middle, we don't want to leave open. So yeah, if anybody knows what will fit there, it would be very much appreciated. It's some researching I will do when we go in the house.
Yeah, so yeah, leave it all down in the comments below. Obviously, if you want to ask questions about how do they fit, like all that jazz, feel free to stick all that in the bottom. We'll do our best to answer it. We're not wheel and tyre gurus by any means. We've asked a lot of questions on forums and Facebook groups and that sort of thing.
But let us know what you think. Do you prefer the look of these? Do you prefer the alloys?
Yeah.
We're interested to know, because so far we prefer these, but we're going to be biased at the end of the day. We chose them.
I want to say a big thanks to 4x4 Tyres, because we did all these a long time ago.
Yeah, we did. They were on back order.
But they got them to us as soon as they possibly could. And one thing that satisfies me, and it's real geeky, is they have lined up the valves with the yellow dot, which I believe the yellow dot is the heaviest point of the lightest point of the tyre, and the valve is obviously the heaviest point of the wheel rim. The only thing is, I'm going to throw this out there for anyone that is knowledgeable and is going to send Alana's head spinning. I read on the website that it should be red over yellow, because the red is where the bands overlap each other. So technically, if you can't find a mark by the wheel rim, you should put the red dot by the valve cap. But that's another discussion entirely. If you want to get into that, leave it all in the comment section below. We're going to wave and say goodbye.
We are.
Are you splitting the camera or not?
Shall I split the camera? I'm going to split the camera because I haven't done for a while.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, do all the fun things down there. And
we'll catch you
by
in the
the time
next video.
this video goes up, it probably actually will be warm outside, so people will be like, why are you cold?
Yeah, and I also want to say Happy New Year, because it's probably going to come out in 2025.
It will,
so Happy New Year. Hope you've had a great Christmas.
This was so last year.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're recording this just before Christmas, so Happy New Year. Hope you've had a good Christmas, all that jazz. Right, things. And goodbye.
Yes, stop waffling. He always waffles. Goodbye.
Bye.
Splat.